iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the football games of week number 4. Let's start out with the Giants and the Redskins. Wayne Gallman, were you expecting that? I was. I'm being quite honest with you. I was. I like Wayne Gallman. I don't think he's a superstar, but I think people are like, so Gallman's not very good. No, Gallman's pretty good. I think Gallman could be a legitimate starting running back, and I think the Giants knew that. But of course, when you have Saquon, you don't really play Wayne Gallman, and he won't play Wayne Gallman when Saquon comes back. But you know that you have somebody in Gallman that you can rely on. I think if you're playing in DFS, you're probably disappointed in Evan Engram. When the Giants went out to a big lead, you don't have Engram. It's game flow, okay? So you can't be upset with that. For Washington, it's just an utter disaster at this point. I mean, they had to go with Haskins, but it's over. I mean, really, this team is over. And it's a big problem, right? It's a big problem. I mean, they're even talking about Colt McCoy maybe starting against New England. I mean, it's crazy. So who knows what's going to happen? I know I don't. I'm being quite honest with you. I wish I knew. I don't know what's going to happen in Washington. I know that Jay Gruden needs to be fired. I know that. And when you don't have McLaurin, you have nothing. You have nothing without McLaurin. All right, New England against the Bills. This game went down pretty much as I expected. Josh Allen is still not a good quarterback. Josh Allen wants to run the football because he's not good at throwing the football. And the Patriots made him throw. 13 for 28 for 153 yards and 3 picks. That's what the Patriots do. They take away his running. Now, they let Frank Gore run it. And Matt Barkley, by the way, came in after that vicious hit, unnecessary hit, by the way. That guy needs to get fined. He played pretty well. Cole Beasley looked good. John Brown actually looked better than I thought. For New England, was anybody great? The defense was great. Tom Brady wasn't great. 150 yards and no touchdowns. Yish. Sony Michel doing something for you. 6.3 points, no touchdown. Nobody did well for you in New England. So if you're stacking New England, you're in big trouble. All right, Tennessee against Atlanta. And by the way, before I get here, I'm just going to take a look at some news and notes. Adam Thielen is upset, rightfully so, right? We have to be able to throw the ball. You think, right? You think? You got to throw the ball. A.J. Green expected to miss 2 more weeks. And Matt Nagy expects Mitch Trubisky to return this season. Ugh, we'll talk about that. All right, Tennessee at Atlanta. Marcus Mariota played well. He really did. For him, he played well. 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry with 100 yards. And A.J. Brown and Corey Davis lighting it up. Delaney Walker, if you played him, I know a lot of people expected. See, this is what happens in games. You expected Atlanta to win. Because you expected Atlanta to win, you may have played Delaney Walker, and then Delaney Walker, they got ahead, the Titans, and when they go ahead, they don't throw the ball. They throw the ball 27 times for 18 completions, and Delaney Walker, literally got 2 targets. So it's all about game flow. When the Titans go ahead, there's no game flow for receivers. It changes everything. So you need the Titans to be behind, and then Delaney Walker's catching 9 passes. That's how it works. In this game, it was the opposite for Atlanta. Devonta Freeman only ran 12 times. Team only ran 17 times. But they threw the ball a ton, 53 times. I mean, but how does Matt Ryan not throw a touchdown pass? And Hooper, and do you know who was the most targeted player for Atlanta? Mohamed Sanu. Seriously. How is Julio Jones not getting it all? How is Calvin Ridley not getting it all? It's a problem. I'm throwing it out there. It's a problem. All right, moving on now. Cleveland against Baltimore. Cleveland played well. Baker Mayfield played well. But Nick Chubb played really well. 165 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry, 10 targets, 8 receptions, 167 yards. You didn't see much Beckham, but you saw Jarvis Landry. We've been looking for Jarvis Landry for 2 years now. Here's what we saw with Lamar Jackson. He struggled a little bit. When Lamar struggles passing, he runs more, 66 yards. But look, Marquise Brown, 7 targets, only 4 receptions for 22 yards. You can kind of tell how Baltimore does by looking at Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown. When it's 4 for 31 and 4 for 22, you know it's not good. You know it's an issue. Right? I know that for sure. Kansas City at Detroit. I want to congratulate Detroit on almost winning this game. I also want to congratulate Detroit on sticking to their style. They ran the ball 35 times. They did. They ran the ball 35 times. They played really good defense. They stymied Patrick Mahomes all game long. Patrick Mahomes looked lost. I mean, he was throwing a guy's named Byron Pringle. The only Pringle I know is the potato chip. Deion Yilder. I mean, seriously, that's how bad it was. Mecole Hardman, 2 for 9. Demarcus Robinson, 4 for 35. Sammy Watkins, 3 for 54. Shocking, right? Detroit played well, folks. Matt Patricia is onto something. He legitimately is onto something there. All right, Carolina at Houston. Deshaun Watson is getting sacked so much, which is affecting Hopkins and Fuller. This was supposed to be a big week for them. Hopkins, 5 for 41. If you took him in the first round right now, he has to look like a bust. Now, he's not a bust, but he's got to feel like one. And if you picked first overall and you didn't pick Christian McCaffrey, I think you should have. Christian McCaffrey, 37 touches of the football yesterday. 37 touches of the football. That's insane. But he's such a good player. Such a good player. But when Jarius Wright has more receptions than DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, I have a problem with that. Now, it's funny. Somebody blasted me on Twitter for saying that Greg Olsen was a sit. Who was right, dude? 2 receptions for 5 yards. You sit Olsen. Texans are better against tight ends than they used to be. All right, Oakland at Indianapolis. Knock on wood if you saw this coming. I know I did. I didn't see this coming at all. The Raiders winning on the road. Jacoby Brissett looked terrible. The numbers looked better than they were. I didn't think they were good at all. 24 for 46, 265 yards. It looked like he was so lost without T.Y. Hilton. That's a problem. Marlon Mack, 11 for 39. Not good. Jackie Doyle took a big old hit. Paris Campbell needs to step up. For Oakland, Josh Jacobs played great. Darren Waller's a star. Star. Even Derek Carr couldn't screw this one up, and he almost did. All right, the Chargers against Miami. Here's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that Austin Eckler's not touching the ball 23 times when Melvin Gordon comes back. If you own Eckler, you need to be worried. You do. You need to be worried. Because I think Melvin Gordon gets 20 touches of the football. You do. I do. 20 touches of the football. Keenan Allen was a supreme disappointment on DFS. He only got you 9.8 points in a PPR. He did even worse for you on FanDuel. I'm sorry about that. Miami, Kenyon Drake played well. Devontae Parker actually showed up in the box score. And I love this kid, Preston Williams. I think they can work with him. He doesn't suck. All right, Seattle against Arizona. Man, the Cardinals are terrible defensively. And Kyler Murray has to press every time because if he knows if he doesn't score, then his team's going to let up points. And did you watch that last drive in the fourth quarter? They can't tackle. They can't stop him. And when they do stop him, it's a penalty. The Cardinals are horrific. I mean, the offense is okay, but it's still not good enough. Christian Kirk has got to do better than 4 for 37 against a bad Seattle team. Chris Carson looked good. Will Dissly looks good because you know that Arizona cannot stop the tight end. That was good chalk. 7 for 57, a touchdown. That's as good chalk as it comes. All right. I want to apologize to myself, I think. I don't like betting games. I don't, because I find when I bet, I lose. But I do subscribe to one betting principle. When it looks too good, go the other way. Tampa Bay on the road at the Rams is going to be bad. And they put up 55 points. All the money in Vegas had to be on the Rams. I'm sure of it. And when that happens, you go the other way. That was my mistake. Should have put a lot of money on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's counterintuitive. It was my mistake. It was my mistake. I loved Robert Woods this week, and he went off. But 517 yards for Jared Goff, that's insanity. So I want to address another thing, the Chris Godwin situation. Look, we all knew that he was questionable all week. We didn't even know if he was going to play. Then he plays and he goes 12 for 172 and 2 touchdowns. If you benched him, I don't blame you. It makes sense. But let's work from a rule moving forward. If a star player plays, you play him. Don't overthink it. If Chris Godwin's active, there's a reason. Play him. Simple as that. Play Godwin. Moving forward. All right, Vikings and the Bears. Can I tell you something? I think I like Chase Daniel more than Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky stinks. But you know who stinks more? Minnesota. You gotta throw. You've got to throw the football. You have to throw the football. And if you can't throw the football, you're going to lose. Right? You're going to lose. Stephon Diggs, 7 for 108. Adam Thielen, 2 for 6. You can't throw the football. You got to give it to him. Who's Bissy Johnson? Amir Abdullah. You got to throw the ball to Thielen. This is horrific. Seriously, if you're a Viking fan, you literally have to be nauseous right now. Fix this. You've got Thielen, you've got Diggs, you've got Cook, you've got the weapons. All right, Jacksonville against Denver. By the way, Denver's run defense is bad, is just bad. 38 carries, 269 yards. They averaged 7.1 yards per carry. Leonard Fournette, 29 carries for 225 yards. Even Raquel Armstead went 8 for 42. They didn't need to throw the ball. If you play DJ Chark, I'm sorry. Cortland Sutton played well. Emmanuel Sanders played well. Right? But man, the Jaguars, I give them all sorts of credit. All sorts of credit. Way to stay in that game and come back and win it. And finally, Dallas and New Orleans. I had said on the radio, and you know this to be true if you listen to me, that I think the Saints could pull it off with Drew Brees out. And winning this game against Dallas was huge. They stopped Zeke Elliott. 18 carries for 35 yards. I mean, that's amazing. Jason Witten was Dallas's number 1 receiver. That's playing defense. You play defense like that, you're going to win a ton of football games. A ton. Good for the Saints. I'm very proud of them. Michael Thomas was great. Alvin Kamara was good. But the defense was sensational. And when the defense plays like they did, they could go to a Super Bowl. And I was on the Saints defense. I was. And then I cut them when they were going after, when they went to Seattle. I cut them. And I'm paying for it. You know, I got to trust my instincts. I had Saints literally in like 90% of leagues, and I cut them. Stupid. I don't think I can get them back now. But what does it go to show you? Even Dr. Roto makes mistakes. All right. Time now to put away the insurance card, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friend. Remember, check out si.com/fantasy for the best fantasy information out there. And of course, fulltimefantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. This is Dr. Roto saying be well. Oh, by the way, I apologize. Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. I didn't cover that one. Super quick. I like Joe Mixon. I like John Ross. I like Tyler Eifert. I like Andy Dalton. I like Mason Rudolph. I like Juju. I love James Conner tonight. James Conner will go off tonight. He's the guy you want to own. Bengals defense is terrible. I might even throw a little Jalen Samuels nugget in there too. All right, guys. This is Dr. O saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full-time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.